Today, I'm going to be talking about the most controversial SkyWars perk, Mining Expertise, and its upgrade, Meticulous Miner. But first, I'm going to go over its short history. When Mining Expertise was first introduced, it was a perk that when maxed would give you 50% chance to get a second ore when you mined any ore type. But in July of 2020, a major SkyWars update released, adding an upgrade for this perk named Meticulous Miner. Meticulous Miner would add a total of 10% to mining expertise, giving you a 60% chance to get a second ore when mining any ore type. Now, fast forward to August 2022, this perk receives a huge buff along with every other perk in the game with its new perk system. They changed mining expertise to give you a 100% chance to get 2 ores when you mine 1. And with this buff, Meticulous Miner also got a buff that guarantees you to get 3 ores when you mine a single ore. And when you say it out loud, it's apparent that there's a huge balancing issue because there's a lot of diamond ores in each SkyWars map. Although in the same update, they did nerf some diamond ore counts on some maps, but it still wasn't enough to justify triple ores. And shortly after the update, everyone caught wind of mining expertise becoming really good, and everyone started using it. It became prominent if you wanted to actually win the game, so a good portion of people started doing it in normal mode. And there are some days, which are mainly the weekends, where you can't go more than 3 days without encountering someone that has full diamond armor, which actually ended up driving people away from normal mode entirely, including me. And if you were part of the players that stayed, you either mined as well, or just learned how to deal with it. Now, whether you agree or disagree if mining should remain the same or be adjusted, it goes against the fact that SkyWars was not made for a player to win every single game they play. And that's why the entire game itself is based off of RNG. You know, the stuff you get in your chests, or the stuff you get in your mid chests. Some games you get a full set of armor, others you'll not. And that's how the game has always worked, and that's for a reason. Mining just completely removes the RNG aspect from the game. It's literally the defining trait of SkyWars. And not to mention, it makes the game extremely boring. No one wants to willingly play against someone who mines diamonds every game, and they end up dodging that player because of it. Insane mode is a game mode. Go play it. I often talk about this on stream, but SkyWars itself is a pretty okay game mode. And the reason it's declining are the players themselves. A lot of players make the game incredibly unfun to play, which includes mining. And whenever someone is in full diamond, you can just realize that everybody in the game just stops having fun. And a common counter argument to this is just mine yourself. And the answer to that is no, I shouldn't have to mine because one person decided they wanted to ruin the fun of everyone in the game. I also forgot to mention how it's literally unwinnable if you yourself don't have mining expertise equipped. Because at that point, you're getting 3 times less diamonds than the other player. Overall, it's literally just the most unfair perk in the entire game. And this actually drives into my next point, is the perk system and how bad it's actually designed. So when this update dropped, they decided to make a couple perks base kit for the entire game, which was Ender Mastery and Instant Smelting, I think it was. I'm personally glad they made those base kit, but I feel like they were missing some. So let's go back to the beginning. They stated that for veteran players, this perk system will be used to help them strategize and use different perk builds. But the glaring issue that you actually have to use 4 to 5 of the same perks between every player just to have an equal ground as everyone else, which leaves you room for 1 or 2 perks to make an entire perk build off of. But the thing is, you don't actually have enough perk slots to end up doing this efficiently. My definition of perks is QOL, quality of life. But where SkyWars falls flat on their new system is that 4 of these perks are essential. Bulldozer and Juggernaut are the most essential perks in SkyWars, and I think you should still have a way to toggle them off without them actually taking up a perk slot. And you might be wondering, how does this relate to mining expertise? Well, if this system wasn't in the game, the mining expertise wouldn't be as big of a problem because everyone would have access to mining instantly, which is still bad. The perk just needs to be reverted to what it was before. Now I have something important to tell you. Did you know that Meticulous Miner is potentially bugged? There's actual evidence that supports that Meticulous Miner is currently bugged, but it's not in the way you're probably thinking. Now this story goes all the way back to update day in August of 2022. If you look at the patch notes closely, it says that Meticulous Miner grants a 20% chance to grant triple drops, but fails to mention if it's a 20% total or per tier, like the other change right next to it. The confusion kind of died down when you would go in game and look in the actual Angel's Descent, where it states that it is indeed 20% per tier and not total. But when the update dropped, players that had the Meticulous Miner perk maxed were noticing that it would not actually give you triple drops 100% of the time, and would give you drops around 20% of the time instead. Multiple people bug reported this, including myself, and the issue was quote-unquote fixed, leading Meticulous Miner to grant triple drops 100% of the time. Now, what went wrong here? In my own personal theory, I believe that Meticulous Miner was intended to give you 20% chance drops. In my opinion, this is still too much, and it should be reverted to how it used to be. Mining has just ruined normal mode entirely, in my opinion. There's also some people saying that mining also helps new players win their games, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but that argument is flawed. If you've ever played normal mode SkyWars and come across any new player, which is very obvious because they really don't particularly know how to play the game itself, they will never ever mine any diamonds at all. They don't even know they can, probably. And 95% of the people mining I see in my own personal games are usually above 40 star. Probably 30 star and above, actually. But it is possible to run into players that are very new to the game and mining. And of course, let me know what you think of mining in the comments down below. Make sure to join my Discord at discord.gg/SoLike. Make sure to subscribe, and make sure to have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or whenever.